Today I have a kid-friendly, good-for-you breakfast dish that is sure to please the whole family. We're making cottage cheese, very blueberry pancakes. This is a great recipe to get the kids helping in the kitchen as well. First, we'll mix together the wet ingredients for the pancakes. You can let the kids crack the eggs with supervision from an adult for the younger ones. We need 2 eggs for this dish, or you could use 3 egg whites instead to cut down on the saturated fat. I'm going with the 3 egg whites so I can show you how to separate an egg the traditional way. First, crack the shell on the counter like this. Then, with the cracked part facing up, gently pry open the shell. You'll see some of the egg white is already falling out into the bowl, but make sure to keep the yolk inside the shell half. Transfer the yolk to the other shell half carefully. And do this a few more times until all of the egg white is in the bowl. Discard the yolk and shell, and then separate the rest of the eggs. I've finished separating the eggs, and now I'm adding in 3/4 cup of low-fat, reduced sodium cottage cheese. When shopping for cottage cheese, be sure to compare the labels and choose the one with the lowest amount of sodium. Next, a 1/2 cup of skim milk. And then I'll just mix that together. The kids can do all of these steps, adding the ingredients and mixing. You can even teach them how to separate the eggs too. Now it's time to add in the dry ingredients. First, 1 cup of whole wheat flour. Then 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And 2 teaspoons of sugar. And mix it up. With pancakes, muffins, or even quick bread, you want to be careful not to overmix the batter or your recipe will turn out tough and dry. And we would prefer to have light and fluffy pancakes for sure. So just mix until the dry ingredients are getting wet. And it's okay to have lumps in the batter too. Okay, I think that should do it. So now it's time for our blueberries. I have 1 12-ounce bag of frozen blueberries that I thawed, but I kept the liquid as that's going to make our pancakes a vibrant blue and appealing to the kids. So I'm going to add this to the batter. And then again, just stir gently until they're incorporated, but without overmixing. Okay, time to cook up our pancakes. I have a large non-stick pan that I've coated with cooking spray. It's been heating up over medium-high heat. I like to use a measuring cup as I scoop when I'm making pancakes. Today I'm using a 1/4 cup scoop, and I'll just use that to scoop up some batter. And add it to the pan. Now, when bubbles appear on the edge of the pancake, that means they're ready to flip, usually just about 2 to 3 minutes after adding the batter to the pan. Okay, I'll flip them with my spatula. And cook for another 2 to 3 minutes before moving them to a plate. Then I'll reapply cooking spray and repeat the process until all of the batter is gone. And this is something the older kids can help with, the pouring and the flipping. So you can see I have a piping hot stack of pancakes here. They look so good. And before you reach for the syrup bottle, try tasting them first. Because they're already sweet and moist from the cottage cheese and blueberries, you probably don't even need a syrup topping. But if you must do syrup, 1 tablespoon should be plenty to get the flavor without packing on the calories. I hope you get to make and enjoy these kid-friendly cottage cheese very blueberry pancakes soon with your family for breakfast. Or try switching things up and serve them for dinner one night instead. The kids will love it.